It is the 41st millennia. Humanity is standing on its last leg. Ever since that dreaded day where the Emperor's own son betrayed him, humanity's fate was changed for the worst forever. Never again would humanity be the all-powerful force of nature they once were. Never again would humanity be united. Never again would humanity dominate the galaxy. Many Imperial scholars still ponder why would the son of the almighty Emperor would ever betray his own father and humanity at large. I'll tell you why. He saw how much this stupid hobby costs. $850? Insanity. Who would pay this much for girly British Barbie dolls? Welcome to Warhammer 40K. Why is Warhammer 40K? It's a family-friendly board game excellent to pass the time with the children. It may not look like this, but this very expensive battleship simulator has a lot of lore. Inside the Game Workshop headquarters, in the most dank and darkest corner of their office floor, there is a small room. Written on the door are the words "Black Library, we make Warhammer lore." Inside, hordes and hordes of menial child-sized workers. No, these are not child workers, these are squats. Why are these space dwarves in charge of writing the entire lore of this Monopoly game for kids ages 12 and higher? Because they had a hard life. In the beginning, there were slimy space lizards. These space lizards are regarded as the oldest living beings in the universe. Highly intelligent creatures that have evolved past the fragility of their gooey skin bags into beings of pure energy. They had an unhealthy fascination with life in general, and while cruising through the Milky Way galaxy, they sprinkled magic pixie dust on planets that could support life. They also dabbled in genetic engineering, creating their own races. One of these races was the Eldar, space elves that managed to create their own galaxy-spanning empire. They were also really horny and into some really weird shit, getting frisky pretty much every time the Eldar were not conquering the galaxy. This won't bite them in the ass in 60 million odd years later. Life was pretty swell in the galaxy. Everybody was having a blast, but in the far darkest corners of the galaxy was a race of pathetic and pitiful mouse breathers who did not have fun. In fact, they hated it. That race was the Necrontyr. They hated everybody because their existence was a joke. They lived on a hellish shithole of a planet that was orbiting a very violent and radioactive star. They had to build underground cities just to survive. Going outside the safety of their shelter spelled instant death by sun rays. Somehow the Necrontyr managed to build a space empire, but compared to the old ones and the Eldar, they were outmatched and outclassed, viewed more as a funny little animal thing than an actual person. They resented their clearly more superior neighbors and went to Twitter to cry about it. This went on for a while until one day they noticed something. Gas. And not just any gas. Star-eating gas. Orbiting their sun. The Necrontyr, after suffering for untold eons from heat stroke, decided that praying to space gas as though they were some kind of god would magically fix all of their problems. This gas was called Catan. The Necrontyr vacuumed and contained as much of Catan as they could and shoved the gas into robotic suits made of... I'm not saying that name. The new robotic god figure was called the Nightbringer. Did I mention the Necrontyr's hated life? These names sound like they belong to a neglected 14-year-old's child OC. Anyway, first thing the Nightbringer does when he realizes he has a consciousness and is inhabiting a new robot body? Havoc. He started eating the souls of his creators and basically reducing the Necrontyr's already measly empire into dust. The few that survived managed to calm their new robot overlord enough into listening to them. They told him about the old ones and the Eldar and how they are much more succulent. The Nightbringer agreed to spare the Necrontyr and made his subjects into his mindless drones in his own image. From this day on, they are known as the Necrons. Other Catan were also found as they were given their own metal bodies. At first, the Catan and their army of lifeless losers were dominating the old ones. It was a one-sided massacre. In an act of panic, the remaining old ones created a new race from leftovers they had in the fridge, introducing the Krorks. Very original. Feeble-minded and highly aggressive, they lived to fight. Soon after, the Eldar joined too with mighty technology they stole from the Old Ones. Typical elf behavior. The C'tan, realizing they are losing this war, decide to go back to the safety of their underground bunkers and go for a good night's sleep for the next 60 million years. The Quarks, having no one left to fight, decide to start fighting the Old Ones and the Eldar. The galaxy was left shattered. And as an extra ball of salt heading directly into your open chest cavity, all this massive destruction from the war created a realm of fear and anger, a realm where emotions rule, a realm twisted by the madness generated from the material world. The warp. Oh, here come the demons. This is Earth, you live here. While the Old Ones were trying to clean the mess the C'tan and his goonies left, the humans were busy banging rocks together and discovering fire. Humanity was in their very early stages of evolution, but they already had people sensitive to warp energies. Primitive, but still the connection was there. These early warp-sensitive humans were shamans and leaders of tribes. They are what the future of humanity would call psykers. And there were demons, and these demons really liked eating people. The shaman, sensing the ever-growing presence of the warp and fearing for what might come, hatched a plan. Ritualistic suicide. Fun for the whole family. This suicide had a motive. All of the shamans that existed made a pact. When they die, they will all combine their souls together to create one super soul. The sheer power and aura of this soul will scare off any demon that even think about eating it. When the soul was complete, they would be reborn as a new being, the new man. How did they do this? Jesus style, integrating themselves into an already pregnant woman.
Oh, honey, I am so excited to bear this child of mine. He will do wonderful things such as helping you with the farming.
Yes, my wife, it is truly a wonderful time to be alive. I will go now to my tent to get some water. Wife? Son?
The future emperor of humanity is born. First thing he did, killed his uncle for killing his dad. Then he went into hiding. Also, he is immortal. He understood that humanity is fundamentally really stupid, and that stupidity feeds the warp. So he did everything in his power to try and lead humanity to a more positive and peaceful existence. As you can see, this failed. At the same time, chaos gods started getting born. 3 specifically, each representing a certain emotional trait. Korn is really mad, that's his whole deal. Nurgle is associated with death and life, the never-ending cycle. And Tazich, I don't know what Tazich's problem is, something with change. It gets confusing after scrolling lower in the wiki. They thought they were hot shit until the Elder Gods beat them up good. Where were we? Oh yeah, the Emperor. He was busy banging human women who gave birth to pseudo-superhumans called the Sensei. Basically, he did nothing but stalk people for a while. Humanity is evolving at an alarming rate. At first, it started by dumping people on Mars, and then the general public forgot about them. I wonder what the humans living on Mars are up to. Humanity could already travel in faster than light speed, and began forming their own galactic empire, colonizing many planets and letting settlers live on them. Alien contact was made, but it was mostly neutral. Psykers were also appearing more frequently, and were viewed as a marvel of human genetics. Sure, there was the odd demon spawn here and there, but it was mostly fine. They also started building robots that were meant to serve mankind in their space adventures. They were called the Men of Iron. Let's go check what the Eldar are up to. Everything was going swell until the robots gained sentience. After the war, humanity was pretty beat down, but that's okay, their new alien pals were here to help. Okay, at least they have psykers. Humanity is now fucked. All contact is lost with other human inhabited planets, and Earth is now a barren wasteland with nothing but scum and general human garbage. The Techno-Barbarians. Raging warlords of the sands fighting over irrelevant territory just to show who has the bigger junk. Mars was fine though. They managed to survive the mayhem, and one group in particular seized control over the planet, the Mechanicus, people who view machinery as divine beings. They also look really cool. The Mechanicus priest actually went to Earth to see if there was any sign of intelligent life left. When they landed, all it took is one good look and they have agreed to never set foot on Earth ever again. Warp storms were also appearing more frequently too, thanks to the courtesy of the Eldar and their non-stop BDSM parties. The Emperor, who had the power to stop all of this by the way, decided now is the time he should make his appearance known. He took the facade as another one of the million warlords and beat the crap of other techno-barbarians with the help of his genetically modified soldiers, the Zander warriors, who he then proceeds to liquefy after their usefulness stopped. Now Earth is united under one leader, but the Emperor did not stop here.
Who is this? What do you want? You are interrupting my beauty sleep.
Would you please sign my petition?
Now with the entirety of Earth and the Mechanicus, the Emperor can start rebuilding his once great race back to glory. He had a plan. He will go on a massive galaxy-spanning crusade to reunite all of humanity that were left on colony planets. He had manpower, technology, and really good hair, but that was not enough. He had one more ace up his sleeve. Oh, this is not good. Meet Slaanesh, aka She Who Thirsts, the chaos god of every single fetish that have, is, and will exist. The Eldar's constant and dirty intercourse for the past millions of years was so vile that it created a chaos god. Its birth woke up the other chaos gods and managed to tear open this giant hole in the material world that connects to the warp like a tunnel. Now demons can go in and out easily. Not only this, but due to circumstances of Slaanesh's birth, many Eldar have died and their souls now directly belong to the Chaos God. On the bright side, the harsh warp storms that were happening stopped, and that means easier space travel. Good for everybody else, not so good for the Eldar. From this day forward, the Eldar would never participate in heinous sexual acts ever again. Or at least half of them did. On the moon, there is a giant laboratory that is governed by the Emperor of Mankind himself. Inside, he is creating something big. 20 superhumans created from the Emperor's own DNA, each embodying one of the Emperor's traits, the Primarchs. Huh? Who's this? Primarch Zero? We don't talk about this guy. These Primarchs were created to help the Emperor conquer the galaxy and guide humanity, and each would have their own legion to command. The Primarchs were strong as 10,000 men. Who knows what horrors they could bring if they fall into the wrong hands. This happened. The Emperor's Primarchs were scattered by the Chaos Gods, each was sent to a different planet. As you can probably understand, the Emperor was not happy about this at all. Not all is lost. Genetic material from the Primarchs called Gene Seed were still in his possession. With these Gene Seeds, he created the Space Marines. Yes, we finally reached this part, you can shut up now. He divided the Space Marines into 20 chapters and now he can finally set out and start reuniting humanity and getting his kids back. The Emperor also made the Bible 2.0 and called it the Imperial Truce. This glorified stack of toilet paper just has 10 pages that say kill all the aliens and that humanity is number one. Very strange. Also no god worship. And he's off. As I said, while the Emperor was manifesting destinies of galaxy, he also picked up the Primarchs on the way. I will now go through each Primarch and the orders they were discovered. Horus, found on the high world of Cthulhu, very close to Terra, very bold. With him being the first Primarch found, he was the only one the Emperor saw grow up. Leman-Russ, found on the furry Khan planet of Fenris. Leman-Russ really likes wolves, he likes them a lot. Due to being raised by wolves, he is very feral and possibly into bestiality. His gene seed literally has built-in wolf DNA. Strong hatred towards psykers and other high intelligent individuals. Ferrus Manus, found on the dark world of Medusa, a tech priest wet dream. He killed a dragon and got giant metal hands out of it. Doesn't talk much, seems to be only able to say the words flesh and weak. And when the stars align in the galaxy, he manages to sometimes say the flesh is weak. What did he mean by this? Fulgrim, found on the resource poor planet of Chemos. So beautiful, people killed themselves over him. Keep telling yourself that. Vulcan, found on the volcano planet of Nocturne. Vulcan was not always like this. Vulcan landed on a planet where the atmosphere made his skin darken. The residents of Nocturne also were like this. Good blacksmith, hatred for the Eldar, overall an 8 out of 10. Rogal Dorn, found on the icy world of Inuit. Dorn was one of the lucky ones, his life was overall pretty good. Had a pimping granddaddy that raised him to be the basic bitch that he is today. And created his own empire. Adorable, he thinks he has power. Really likes building shit. Robot Girly Man, found on the empire capital planet of Macragge. He is the lucky one. He won the planet lottery just like he won the genetic lottery. Papa Smurf's Space Marines are absolutely broken. I'm getting too ahead of myself. Robot Gorilla Man had the best outcome out of all of his brothers. Magnus the Red, found on the nerd planet of Prospero. Magnus is a nerd and a psyker. He is worshipped by the planet nerd as their savior. Why is he red? Nobody knows. Hated by most of his brothers for being a nerd. Sanguinius. He's so beautiful. Moving on. Lionel Johnson, found on the medieval chaos demon infested planet of Caliban. How did Lionel Johnson survive his childhood in a beast infested world? No answer, probably autism. Was found by its nightly inhabitants of the planet and became the Supreme Grand Master. Perturabo, found on the planet of Olympia. Mr. Know-It-All. Literally, he knows it all. Cursed from birth to know and understand everything that exists. His life is very boring. That made him very jaded. Mortorian, found on the shithole planet of Barbus. Imagine the smell. Had a horrible life, was forced to work the fields. However, this had the benefit of giving him a good left hook with his favorite weapon, the scythe. When the Emperor came, he killed Mort's adopted father and that pissed him off because he wanted to kill him. Lorgar, found on the religious planet of Colchis. Very weak-willed, also bold. Lorgar spent most of his time praying to statues, trees, and his own father when he came. This won't cause problems in the future. Jigahati Khan, found on the planet of Manduplanus. Fall down, becomes the planet's greatest warrior, create an empire, lame, I heard this 3 times already. Khan was spastic, snorted sugar with cocaine. Made him reach unimaginable speed levels on his 1977 Ford Harvey. And strong hatred for the Dark Eldar. Conrad Kurz, found on the miserable planet of Nostarmo. Conrad Special. Hunted day and night by horrible visions of the future created by his psychic powers. Was he schizophrenic? Probably. Life miserable, teeth miserable, smell miserable. Nobody adopted poor little Kurz, he had to raise himself. Angron. Angron's funny to me. Found on the gladiatorial world of Noceria. First thing that happens when he lands, attacked by Eldar. Found by slavers, forced to fight in the arena. Had nails puncture his skull. Started a slave rebellion. The Emperor came. Told the Emperor he'd rather die with his Baal brothers. Gets teleported on an Imperial ship. All his gladiator buddies die. Angron was mildly annoyed. Also those nails, they never got removed. I wonder why he doesn't like the Imperium. Corvus Corax. Found on the planet of Deliverance. Fall down, shit planet, shit life, yada yada yada. Korax is Conrad Kurz without the endless hallucinations. He is considered the master of stealth combat thanks to his giant suit of power armor and the jetpack. Elfarius Omegon. Looking through my pages, I can't find shit. He might be two people or something, I don't know anymore. And that's all the Primarchs. But wait, I only told you about 18 and it was stated there are 20. Well, the 2 were deleted from Imperial records, never to be remembered. Why did this happen? Nobody knows, but I have a theory.
McDonald ECO and Contraxes, you are abominations and an embarrassment to the Empire of Man. You will be banished and forced into exile. Your corrupt gene seed will be destroyed, never to be used again.
Oh, is that so, Mr. High and Mighty Top Cunt? Oh, I reckon you can't even cook a decent snag on the barbie, you mongrel. God Emperor of mankind. What dickhead man behind? Rack off, you fuckwit! Stop bludgeoning around here and fuck off back to your moon base.
Anyway, after the Emperor collected all of his action figures, he left Horus in charge and went to Terra to work on the Imperial Webway, a subdimension that allows for safer travel, meaning humanity would not have to use the warp for travel. He works on this webway from the Golden Throne. Also, all of this is stolen from the Eldar. Who stole it from the Old Ones? The Emperor never told any of this to his sons and they felt betrayed that the Emperor is so secretive. Also, Malkador the Sigillite is here, Big E's best friend. Meanwhile, Lorgar viewed the Emperor as a god, so he built churches for him. The Emperor, seeing what Lorgar did, sent Guilemen to publicly humiliate him. Lorgar was very sad and angry. Then he managed to get manipulated by this douchebag Arbis into joining the Chaos Gods because only they could love someone as malnourished as Lorgar. On the way, they also tried to corrupt Horus, who was already angry that the Emperor is being so secretive lately. While fighting the chaos-powered planetary governor of Davin, Horus was injured.
My shoulder here!
Horus was dying. Then the Chaos Gods came and offered him a deal. If he joins them, they will heal his wounds, give him superpowers, and kick the Emperor's ass. Oh, here comes Magnus.
Horus, stop! Don't do this! Don't listen to them! Remember all the good times you had with Father. I'm so pissed off!
Horus has joined Chaos. Magnus, with no choice left, had to use drastic psychic measures to warn the Emperor, on the way destroying the webway. The Emperor, rightfully angry that all of his life work is ruined, sent Leman Ras to ground Magnus. Literally. This made Magnus join Chaos. Horus continued to go and influence the other Primarchs that disliked the Emperor, such as Angron for obvious reasons, Fulgrim for getting tempted by a really long sword, Mortarion after being convinced by Horus that the Emperor is evil, and Portorabo for being underappreciated and Rogel Dorn's personal punchbag. Kurz and Alfarius are also here, for some reason. Horus also managed to recruit Kelber Hal, the leader of the Mechanicus. Hal was resentful of the Emperor because he viewed him as a warlord that enslaved his people. And that's sort of true. And the Horus Heresy started. This went for 9 years, with the biggest battle happening on Estvan V, where Vulcan was captured, Ferrus Manus was killed, and each side suffered heavy space marine loss. The Horus Heresy is nothing more than a big fuck you dad from Horus to the Emperor because Horus felt his father did not love him enough. What a crybaby. The Emperor, losing patience, decided to confront Horus himself. He left Malkador in charge of the Golden Throne to make sure no demons invade while he is off to spank Horus. He, Sanguinius and Dorn decided to teleport to Horus' ship. However, when they got there, they were separated. Sanguinius directly teleported to Horus' throne room. Hearing the sound of girly screams, the Emperor rushed towards the sound source. and found the body of Sanguinius and Horus. Doing 2 plus 2 together, the Emperor realized Horus killed his second favorite son. Horus, without any warning, started attacking the Emperor. The Emperor just stood there contemplating if he was a bad father.
Stop!
Who is this? He's a guardsman. He's immortal. He's going to save the Emperor. There he goes. The Emperor, gravely wounded, was found by Dorn, carried back to Terra to sit on the golden throne that Malcador's decomposing body was upon. Saying his goodbye to his one true friend, he sat upon the throne for many years to come. Everything was shit. The Civil War ruined humanity forever. Robust Gullible, now the pseudo-leader of the Imperium of Man, decided to take matters in his own hands. He wrote the Bible 3.0, a marvel of literature that is followed by most space marines and viewed as holy. Then he got poisoned, went to stasis for a few years, came back, is now clapping Eldar cheeks. What? Korax left to the warp, never to be seen again. So did Leman Ras, Jigahati Khan, and Dorn. Great track record. Vulcan pops in and out of existence, might have become part of the Quarks. Remember these guys? They are now the Orcs. Lionel Johnson went to a coma and is currently sleeping in what is remaining of his planet. So as you can see, things suck ass, but we are not done here. Meet Barbus, a space marine that was part of Porto Rabo's legion, the Iron Warriors, that stayed loyal to the Emperor. During his battle on the planet of Sosa, he supercharged a machine called the Pharaoh, which is this giant lighthouse that makes it easier for warp travel. This released an ungodly amount of energy that caught the attention of space bugs. Lots of space bugs. Also, the Necrons woke up. At this point the story is dormant and will never progress because Game Workshop loves milking franchises. Did we learn something today? No. Warhammer 40K is a thing of beauty. There are not a lot of tabletop games with such a robust and deep lore. I barely scratched the surface of it in this video. It goes really deep. Highly recommend you read one of the books. Thanks for watching me trying to explain Warhammer 40K lore to you. More high quality content will come soon. Stay tuned.
Brother, I am pinned here!